The morning sunlight bled through the cracked windshield of an old blue pickup as Michael Rains drove up the winding hill toward the steel and glass headquarters of Linwood Industries. His daughter, Ava, sat in the passenger seat, swinging her legs and humming to a tune from the radio. For Michael, every day was a battle between exhaustion and hope. He had served 15 years in the Army, survived a bomb blast that left him with a limp, and lost his wife to cancer 2 years ago. Now he was just a single father trying to fix cars by day, raise a bright little girl by night, and keep the pain buried deep where it couldn't choke him. That morning, he was delivering a custom engine part his workshop had rebuilt for Linwood's luxury car division. He didn't know that stepping into that corporate lobby would change his life forever. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that good hearts still exist in this world, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps us keep sharing true stories that restore faith in humanity. When Michael entered the vast marble lobby, the echo of his boots carried across the silence. The employees rushed past him, eyes fixed on screens, voices sharp with stress. Behind the front desk, a receptionist with perfect posture looked up. "You're from Rains Auto?" she asked. He nodded and handed her the paperwork. "Take it up to the CEO's office," she said. She asked for it personally. That surprised him. CEOs didn't usually talk to mechanics. But he followed the instructions, taking the elevator to the top floor, his worn boots squeaking against the polished floor. The doors slid open to reveal an office that looked like something out of another world, wide glass windows overlooking the city, sunlight pouring in, and in the center, behind a mahogany desk, sat a woman whose eyes told a story even deeper than his own scars. Her name was Claire Halden. 34 years old, brilliant, fierce, and once the youngest CEO in the company's history. But that morning, she wasn't the picture of power people imagined. Her legs were covered with a plaid blanket, her face pale, and the wheelchair beside her told Michael everything. She looked up, startled, when he entered. "You're not my assistant," she said sharply. Her voice trembled, though it tried not to. "No, ma'am. Just here to deliver this engine part," he replied quietly, placing the box on her desk. She stared at it, then back at him, noticing the limp, the worn hands, the exhaustion hidden behind polite eyes. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then, in a voice that sounded almost broken, she whispered, "Please. I can't walk." Michael froze. He hadn't expected those words. Claire turned away quickly, embarrassed. "I'm sorry," she said after a pause. "I didn't mean to, it's just I had an accident 3 months ago. Car crash. Spinal injury. The doctor said maybe I'll walk again, maybe I won't." She gave a hollow laugh. "Everyone says I'm strong, but they don't see me at night when the pain hits." Michael didn't know what to say. But something in her voice, that quiet plea, hit him harder than any battlefield explosion ever had. Over the next few weeks, he found reasons to come back to the building: maintenance calls, follow-ups, deliveries. Each time, Claire seemed a little different. The sharp-tongued CEO softened when Ava tagged along, curious and full of sunshine. "You draw?" Claire had asked Ava once, and the little girl proudly showed her a crayon picture of a woman with angel wings in a wheelchair. "That's you," Ava said. Claire blinked fast, fighting tears she hadn't let anyone else see. Michael noticed it too, the woman behind the iron mask. She was lonely, frustrated, and terrified that the world would see her weakness. The company's board was already circling like sharks, whispering about replacing her. Her life, her legacy, everything she'd built, was slipping away faster than her strength could hold on. One afternoon, as Michael was fixing a car in the underground garage, he heard the echo of a crash above. He dropped his wrench and ran upstairs. Claire's wheelchair had tipped against a desk. Papers were scattered, and she was on the floor, trying to pull herself up, anger and humiliation burning in her eyes. "Don't touch me," she snapped when he rushed to help. But the next moment, her voice broke. "Please. I can't do this anymore." Michael knelt beside her, steady and calm. "Then don't," he said quietly. "You don't have to do it alone." That was the moment something inside her cracked, not in weakness, but in surrender. From that day, Michael became more than a mechanic who showed up occasionally. He became her anchor. He taught her small exercises, things he'd learned during his own rehabilitation after the explosion. He didn't treat her like a fragile glass figure, he treated her like someone still alive, still capable. Pain doesn't mean you're broken, he told her one morning. It just means you're still here to fight it. Claire found herself looking forward to his visits. Sometimes, he'd bring coffee and donuts. Sometimes, Ava would tag along with a flower from her backyard. Slowly, the walls Claire had built started to crumble. She started venturing out of the office, first to the balcony, then to the lobby, and finally, one sunny morning, to the company courtyard. Employees watched in silence as their once untouchable boss rolled through the doors with a smile that hadn't graced her face in months, but the board wasn't happy. They saw her new confidence as recklessness. During a tense meeting, one of them, an older man named Stanton, slammed his hand on the table. "You can't lead a company like this, Claire. Investors need stability, not sympathy." She stayed silent, her hands gripping the wheelchair armrests. After the meeting, she rolled out to the parking lot, tears burning her eyes. Michael found her there. "They're right," she said. "I'm a burden. No one wants a CEO who can't even stand up." Michael crouched beside her. "Then prove them wrong. Show them strength isn't about standing, it's about refusing to fall." That night, something changed in her. Claire began joining physical therapy again, this time with a new determination. Michael helped her build a small home gym setup in her penthouse. Ava painted bright stickers on her crutches, tiny stars and rainbows that made her smile. Weeks passed, then months. Her progress was slow, painful, frustrating, but real, and then, one morning, she did it. With trembling hands gripping parallel bars, Claire took one step. Then another. The therapist cheered. Michael, standing nearby, smiled quietly, his eyes shining. "Told you," he said softly. "Still here to fight." That same afternoon, Claire walked, carefully but firmly, into the company boardroom, without the wheelchair. The room fell silent. Stanton's face went pale. "You wanted a leader who could stand," she said, her voice steady. "Here I am." The applause started hesitantly, then grew. That day, the woman who once begged, "Please, I can't walk," became a symbol of resilience for everyone who had ever been told they couldn't rise again. After the meeting, she found Michael waiting outside, leaning against his old pickup, a proud smile on his face. "Guess I owe you a coffee," she said, laughter breaking through tears. He shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. You did this." But she stepped closer. "Maybe. But you reminded me who I was before the fear took over." The sun dipped low as Ava ran up with a drawing in her hands. "Look," she giggled. "It's all of us, me, Daddy, and you standing together." Claire looked at the picture and whispered, "Standing together." The words felt like a promise. Weeks turned into months. Claire didn't just walk again, she began to live again. She restructured the company to provide opportunities for people with disabilities, veterans, and single parents. She turned her story into a movement of hope. And Michael, who had spent years feeling invisible, found himself part of something bigger, a family, a cause, a future. One Sunday afternoon, as they sat under the shade of a tree in the park, Ava chasing butterflies around them, Claire said quietly, "Funny, isn't it? I had everything once: money, power, success, and I